Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees. I hope you guys are having a great night. We've got some very, very, very interesting things to talk about today. Considering that, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Yankees were never going to be in the market for Marcus Stroman, because I've never held a conversation with Marcus Stroman. I've never held a conversation with like Brian Cashman, but I'm not going to lie. Definitely shocked by this. I'm definitely shocked by the fact the Yankees have a heavy interest in Marcus Stroman. There's a lot we're going to be able to talk about. I'm actually really excited to get into this. This is going to be an interesting live stream. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to have to end it before 4:00 because I have something to do in pertaining to work. And this being my job, of course, this is the work I'm referring to. But with that being said, let's get things kicked off by looking to the comment section here. I'm going to tweet out the link on Fireside Yankees so that more people are aware that we're live. But yeah, really excited to get things going. Not StreamYard. MLB channel says, "Hey Ryan, what's up, my man? Hey, I hope that you're having a good night. And look, man, this is going to be an interesting live stream. We're going to have a lot of interesting questions, I think, to answer. So let's get into this. Bryce22 goes, Stroman is a good answer. A good option. I don't love Marcus Stroman, the person. I've been very clear about that. I don't think that Marcus Stroman should be, I don't think Marcus Stroman makes much sense from a locker room perspective. But I will say this, Marcus Stroman, the pitcher, certainly has a lot to provide for the Yankees. He's a ground ball pitcher. He is a guy who's going to finish with an ERA probably below 4. And look, that's valuable for the Yankees. That's something that the team desperately needs. That's something they've desperately lacked in the middle of the rotation. But end of the day, I don't believe that the New York Yankees, I don't think the New York Yankees were going to be interested. And well, I guess I'm wrong. Like they ended up showing they're showing plenty of interest right now. I believe it's legit. Like a lot of this looks like legitimate interest. So yeah, just a really interesting situation that they're in right now, where this is a guy who I just didn't think was going to be linked to the Yankees, and here we are. Aiden says, "Hey to the MLB channel. Hey, what's up? I hope you're having a good night, Aiden. He's here on every stream, so appreciate you stopping by." It looks like Marcus Stroman might be the Yankees. Have you watched Joey Caputo of the Shift 2 saying the Yankees can't just stop with Stroman? They need to address the rotation. So I think that the New York Yankees, desperately need starting pitching as well. I think that the New York Yankees are a team that, quite honestly, doesn't really have, they don't have the ability to pick and choose. And that's the reality for them right now. But at the same time, I also just didn't think they're going to be linked to Stroman. I'm not going to lie. I never thought Stroman would be open to playing here. And then I didn't really think the Yankees would be open to bring him in. But, if you get the pitcher you got for the Cubs last year or the year prior, that's a win for the Yankees, right? Like that's a guy who slots into your third spot in the rotation and can help you out, can obviously bump down to the 4th spot if you go out and make another impact trade. But I don't think the Yankees are going to trade for Dylan Cease. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. Apparently, the Yankees aren't really willing to part ways with a guy like Spencer Jones. If they're not willing to part ways with a guy like Spencer Jones, I highly doubt they're going to be able to that they're going to be willing to part ways with another like high-profile prospect. So, yeah. Just watch Jason 161 River Ave. Yankees may try to get Corbin Burns in a trade as long as the Brewers don't include Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez. They give up Chase Hampton. What do you think? I don't think the Brewers move Corbin Burns before the trade deadline. So, yeah. Marcus Stroman to the Yankees. Yeah, it looks like that might happen. How short are we feeling today, says Tyler. I'm feeling pretty tall, man. I ate my, I took my vitamin C, my vitamin D. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty tall today. Did anyone know that Stroman was, oh, okay. CWE says, hey, Hoodie Maven goes, how tall am I? I'm tall. You know what? Like, I'm just not even going to answer this question. Fuck off. Like, you're a fucking dick. Aiden says, I bet my mom that Stroman, I guess, would sign with the Yankees. If I lose that bet, I lose $30. You might not lose $30, my man. Like, it looks like you're not going to lose $30. It does not look like you're going to lose $30. What's poppin'? Simon, I hope you're having a good night, my man. Stroman, I heard you're 5'6". Can you confirm or deny this? I'm 5'8". So, yeah, again, fuck off. Yankees, Stroman need mentality to change the softest organization in sports. I don't think that the New York Yankees, I don't think that the New York Yankees need Stroman's personality. I don't think it's a matter of, they need his personality, they need this, is that. I just think they think he's a good pitcher and they're willing to go out and make the moves necessary to go out and get him. And it is what it is. Like I don't think the New York Yankees are going to end up being a team that necessarily I don't think they're going to be desperate for Stroman, but I do think they're going to do what it takes to at least I think they're going to get him. I think at this point, like, it just looks like they're going to get him. And I'm going to have egg on my face because I really don't think this guy was going to be a good fit personality-wise. But, hey, I trust the Yankees more than I trust myself when it comes to these type of acquisitions. And that's how I'm at right now. Gross, says Chase Hampton. I bet my mom that Stroman will go to the Yankees. If he does, I get $35. Hope it goes well. Again, you might just win $35, man. MLB Clips goes, Marcus Stroman, if he comes to the Yankees, what spot is he in the rotation? He's probably the 3-starter, slots behind Rodon, ahead of Cortez. That's how I view it. Stroman, Bauer, Herman, what's the difference? Just pick the best one. This is hard because I'm not going to, like, do I want to differentiate between the things that they have done off the field and, like, try to tell you which one's worse and which one's better? That's not really, that's like, I feel morally gross doing that, so I'm not going to, but I'll say that Marcus Stroman's probably the best pitcher in that group. Smell and Marcus. Victor, I don't think the New York Yankees will end up with Blake Snell if they're going to go out and get Marcus Stroman. Do you think it will happen today? I guess not. Like, I'm going to say no, but I mean, I'm not going to tell you that it's a guarantee either way. Heyman saying that we can't do Stroman and Snell. Do you buy that? Cody, I definitely buy that. I don't think they're going to do both. Why are people acting like committed the worst crimes in history? Stroman almost nullifies Soto in my level of excite. I can't stand the dude. So two completely polar opposite responses. So address Sam's first. I don't think that it's fair for me to talk about Marcus Stroman without mentioning the off-field issues. Like, there are, like, the off-field issues aren't, oh my God, he blocked Bobby Malone on Twitter. Like, it's just not a crime. Like, who cares, right? Like, Bobby probably doesn't even care. But at the same time, I do have to talk about, hey, he liked multiple anti-Semitic posts on Instagram and Twitter because that's a legitimate concern. That is a thing I think is fair to bring up and is fair to talk about, and I hope a reporter asks him about it. I'm going to be honest with you. If I do get a Zoom presser to a potential introductory presser, I would consider asking him about that. Like, I don't think I don't think that's an okay thing to do as an athlete and somebody with as large of a platform as his. And I think that it's gross, and I'm going to talk about it. Like, I'm not going to shy away from that. Like, I'm going to talk about it the same way I talked about it with Josh Donaldson, the same way I didn't shy away from that stuff with Herman or Chapman. Like, I'm not going to sit here and ignore off-field concerns because in the workforce, in the real world, well, not that baseball isn't the real world, but in our worlds where we're just, in the non-baseball world, background checks are important and background checks are done. And people ask around and they say, all right, what do you do? What have you done in your past? Like, what was this post? Why did you like this? Why did you endorse this? Explain yourself, stuff like that. I think it is important for the Yankees to do their legwork on the person of Marcus Stroman, as well as do the legwork on the player that he is as well. And again, to say that, I wouldn't say Stroman nullifies my excitement for Soto. Juan Soto's a generational talent. I will never be a guy that sits here and tells you the Yankees have a good offseason if they add in an offseason where they added Juan Soto. Like, I just can't do that. We signed a good number 2 starting pitcher. It depends on what your opinion of that is. If it's, Blake Snell, I'm going to lean no. If you're going to say that the New York Yankees are going to, like, if they get, like, is Marcus Stroman a 2-starter? I don't know. I don't think you're going to go out and get Blake Snell. But I do think the New York Yankees are going to get a starter. I just, at this point, it's pointing to Stroman. Like, it is what it is, Moving on. Smash the like. Yeah, Fireside Giants here, baby. Listen to what they're saying, guys. Smash that like button. Also, check out Fireside Giants if you guys are Giants fan. Even if you're not, just go check out Fireside Giants. Subscribe there. Subscribe here. Fireside family. It's where it's at. Empire Sports Vita. That's where the best New York sports content is at. And we're gonna keep pushing that down people's throats. It's technically not sponsored. This is literally my job. But shouldn't the Yankees save money for Burns or Wheeler next year? I don't think Stroman would make you not able to get Zach Wheeler or Corbin Burns, personally. I don't think he stops you from doing that. Cody Heyman doesn't know anything. That's fair, but, like, I also just think common sense would tell you that that's not going to happen. Do you think the deal will happen today? Probably not. Cubs paid $25 million for that scrub. I don't think the Yankees are going to be paying $25 million a year for Marcus Stroman. I think it would probably be more like the Lucas Giolito deal. I think 2 for 38, 2 for 40. That might be the play here. Good thing I'm 6'2", must be tough being that short. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not the best. I wish I was a little bit taller. Neftali goes, interesting that reporters keep linking Hader to the Yankees, even though it doesn't seem like they have interest. They probably do have interest, but I imagine they're not interested in paying the price they're going to need to pay to go out and get him. And that's fair as well. Like, I just don't think there's a reason for the Yankees to pay a 9-figure deal for a closer. Like, that's just the way I view it. It is what it is. Bauer costs less. Well, guess what? He wasn't he was dominant in Japan. Like, this is I'm gonna address Bauer right now, and you guys can, like, this is gonna be the Trevor Bauer. This is gonna be the me talking about Trevor Bauer. Okay. And I'm gonna type in Trevor Bauer stats. I'm gonna pull them up for you guys right now from the MPB. And I'll tell you guys this right now. Trevor Bauer was not bad in Japan, sure, but he wasn't dominant either. He put up a 3.03 ERA. He had 130 strikeouts and 132 third innings pitched, so he didn't strike out a batter per inning. In terms of strikeout rate, which you can check with total batters faced, which he faced 635, 160 divided by 635, that's a 25% strikeout rate. Not necessarily dominant, and that's the MPB, right? I'm not saying the MPB is not good, but the MPB is a league below the major leagues in terms of talent, right? He gave up a lot of home runs. He gave up a home run per 9. I know that the ballpark he played at was pretty unspacious, but even on the road, he gave up home runs. He only topped out at 156 innings this year, so it's like he's a workhorse. This isn't a guy that necessarily projects to be one of the best players in the league again. And obviously, the off-field issues are legitimate. Like, he has 2 pending legal cases. I'm sorry, but Marcus Stroman is a different situation. He has 0 pending legal cases. He's never had a pending legal case. I just don't see a reason to go out and make that PR hit and take on a player with, again, 2 pending legal disputes. That's 2, not 1, 2. 2 is a lot. 2 is way too many for the Yankees to be dealing with. And people can hate me for saying this. People can say this is nonsense. People can say whatever they want to say about anybody involved in the case. But reality is 2 pending legal cases, a good, not dominant season in Japan. And yeah, there's this guy, you can't compare him to Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman was really good. Well, not really good. He was a good pitcher at the major league level and has 0 pending cases. You can't necessarily compare the two, as much as I don't really like Stroman either. Blake Snell is 31 years old. Now, will this scream regression? Blake Snell, I don't think I'd give Blake Snell a 7-year deal, but like a 2-year deal, I would do that. Supercharged 2 or 3-year deal will definitely do that. What's my take on Cabrera and Marcus Stroman? If I could get Marcus Stroman and Edward Cabrera, that's a win of an offseason pitching-wise. I think I'm getting 2 guys who upgrade the rotation, who give us more depth, who make us more flexible. Now, one could argue by acquiring Marcus Stroman, it makes Clark Schmidt more expendable. Could you flip Clark Schmidt for maybe another starter? Maybe that's a guy like Jesus Luzardo, or I'm going to float this out there right now, Mitch Keller, right? If you were able to build a rotation of Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, Nestor Cortez, and Mitch Keller, or you flip Mitch Keller, you make him your 3, and you make Marcus Stroman your 5, that is a damn good rotation. That is a damn good rotation. I just personally don't believe that the New York Yankees are going to end up acquiring a superstar like second starter. I think it would be like maybe an Edward Cabrera, or again, maybe the Yankees find a way to flip Clark Schmidt and get serious major league impact back. We'll see. Stroman can't hope. Yeah, Stroman has outpitched Bauer over the last 2 years. So there's that. Stroman's a very bad pitcher. They should sign Snell instead of him. I don't think Marcus Stroman's a great pitcher, but the body of work is still pretty good in terms of major league success over the past 2 seasons. The body of work is, over the past 2 years with the Chicago Cubs, a 3.73 ERA. ERA minus has stayed pretty consistent at around an 89 to 90. He's a ground ball guy. He doesn't give up barrels. He doesn't give up home runs. Again, as a pitcher, I like the profile, but as a person, very against it. Very against it. Very much like the Yankees should try to look elsewhere. But I understand from their perspective, it's like, we can't really look elsewhere. Like, where are they going to look? Are they going to look for Blake Snell? Are they going to look for Jordan Montgomery? Are they look at Dylan Cease? Like, where is there to look? And I guess that's kind of the problem they're running into right now. And I think that's why their interest in Stroman's peaked over the last few days. Ground ball and barrel merchant, I may be moved. Yeah, he's a ground ball guy. And you imagine that could potentially age well. But, we'll have to wait and see. One of your past streams, you said you don't want to pay big money to old pitchers. I think he's perfect because he will be similar. He won't cost an arm and a leg. I think that means Soto next year. Yeah, I think Marcus Stroman allows you to go out and still extend Soto while adding a pitcher to your rotation. Stroman will be Donaldson on the mound. Look, if there's that outcome where Marcus Stroman isn't very good, he will be the most hated man in New York. Like, that's a reality. And I'm, again, not fully on board with this. I don't want to make it seem like I am on board with this. I understand from the baseball perspective why the Yankees are interested. But again, like, I have my own personal doubts. And I think that this is a fun conversation. It's a fair conversation. I think everybody's allowed their own opinion on it. I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer, but I do understand the concerns and I do understand the appeal. I see both sides of the argument, but personally, I'm good on Marcus Stroman. That's just my opinion on it. Stroman as a pitcher would be a nice add. I still prefer Snell. Snell and Cole would be a great one, too. I think Snell's a better pitcher than Marcus Stroman, to clarify. Like, that's not close to me, even if I believe that the contract for Blake Snell isn't great. But, yeah. Where's the Fireside Drew logo? I will be back for that. We'll look into it, Chase. We'll look into it. John Morosi said we are the top candidates for Stroman. I do think we get Stroman, but he is not the only guy we get. But I would be disappointed if they get him and nobody else. They need to get another guy. I just don't know who that other guy is. I think the fact that they're interested in Stroman reeks of desperation. Not in like a sense of they're getting a guy they don't think is good, but a sense of we really don't want to bring this guy into New York, but shit, who else can we go to, right? Like, I think they're like, I'll take the PR hit of bringing in a guy the fan base hates for potentially getting a pretty good pitcher. And I know that makes me seem like I'm saying, hey, this is me talking like I'm talking about, a guy like Bauer, but I think the difference is, again, legal cases versus, different stuff. Stroman stuff is different. It's not a legal case. I think that's why the Yankees are viewing it a lot differently. And ultimately, I think that the New York Yankees should go out and try to get impact pitching. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, I think the Yankees need to find out a way to go out and get pitching. And I just don't know if they have as many options as we perceive them to have. If Stroman goes to the Yankees, it's kind of hypocritical to say no to Bauer after he burned his bridge with the Mets IMO. No, because again, it's not a legal case. It's not a legal case. There's a big difference. I think the Yankees really believe in Will Warren. I agree. I think the fact that they believe in Will Warren as well. Do fans take it personal if an athlete blocks them off Twitter? Some do, and rightfully so. Look, you can choose to hate whoever you want to hate. Do you think the Yankees will make the World Series this year? And if they do, will the Dodgers win it all? Do you think the Dodgers will win it all in 2024? I would pick the Braves to win it all right now, if given the choice. So, yeah. Is it harder to get strikeouts? It's hard to get strikeouts in Japan, lol. Yeah, but again, this is like supposed to be like, as he says, he said, and I quote, I'm a top 15 pitcher in the world. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a top 15 pitcher in the world, and he put up better numbers than Bauer did. Imanaga struck out more batters than Bauer did. If it's that hard for a top 15 pitcher in the world, that's all I'm saying, right? It's so hard. Why isn't he out pitching guys who aren't considered top 15 pitchers? I know Yamamoto definitely is considered a top 15 pitcher in the world, but it's not like Imanaga is. Go pitch better than him. That's the way I view it. The body of work doesn't support Trevor Bauer being the type of guy that I want to bring into my clubhouse and bring into my team and say this guy's going to be elite next year. It was his first year in a new country. His life's falling apart. That was no, just sorry. His life wasn't falling apart. He has 2 legal cases. Can't be the only one to believe that Dylan Cease trade would be horrible. Around the 4 ERA last year, we would trade Spencer Jones and Chase Hampton for him. Go get Blake Snell, please. I think that you can justify trading one of the two, but not both of the two for Dylan Cease, because I don't think Dylan Cease is worth both of the two. And I agree, Ethan. I just don't buy the idea that both of the two should be viewed as guys you must give up for Dylan Cease. And if you were going to trade those two guys, I would love to see a guy like Jesus Luzardo instead. That's the way I view it. So yeah. Stroman is the worst PR. He's Donaldson for a pitcher. No legal cases. That's what I'm going to keep saying. And again, like I'd rather have a guy who badmouths the Yankees and has legal cases. Yeah, like I don't know if he'd be better than a Stroman, man. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Projections think Stroman would put up more WAR. So yeah. Yeah, he has a bad ERA in his 11 games in the Yankee Stadium. But he faced the New York Yankees lineup, and he would not be facing the New York Yankees lineup. No team would ever face the New York Yankees lineup if they're like Marcus Stroman will never face the New York Yankees lineup if he's playing for the Yankees. So yeah, rank these guys: free agent trade candidates: Luzardo, Bieber, Cease, Burns, Snell, Montgomery. Okay, I'd go in just not looking at price, just straight up pitchers: Burns, Luzardo, Snell, Cease, Bieber, Montgomery. Montgomery may be above Bieber, like in terms of just like how I'd rank them as pitchers. Now let's just adjust for price now. I would go probably Bieber, Luzardo, Burns, like Cease, Snell, Montgomery. That's the order as well. Who has a better stash, Rodon or Cortez? I'm going with Rodon. Yankees fans just triggered because Stroman blocked us on X. Stroman's still a legit pitcher. Look, there's still legitimate reasons to not like Marcus Stroman. I'm not going to downplay that. I'm trying to be fair to both sides here. You know, I'm trying to be fair to both sides. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. Really hate this guy. I don't really want to watch him pitch. Not even kidding. Please keep this bum away. Agreed. Get Snell. Keep the prospect for now. Stroman starts off being hated. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but I don't like the fact we're projected to have multiple guys with a sub 60 WRC plus on our bench. That's fair. I do have concerns about how Cabrera and Peraza will hit in 2024, but they're here for their defense, and we'll have to wait and see. I think the Yankees' interest ends up being. I think the Yankees' interest in Gio Urshela reflects that they would like to get some help in their infield, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. Bryce, he is not a legit pitcher. He sucks ass. Stroman will blow out his arm in 2 months. I think we will, if we get Stroman and Snell, it will be a very good offseason. I think we get both of them, sure, but I don't think they're going to get both of them. Use the kids, all of them. Screw Stroman. The kids landed a Soto. Do you think the Yankees will get King next year? No. Legal means nothing if you're not convicted. It just doesn't. It does. It does. You have 2 legal pending cases. It does. Like it is what it is. Sign everyone, pay the tax, cut them if they suck, move on. White Lotus, I wish it was that simple. I support it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah. At least we got Stroman Soto. That's pretty funny. Hashtag no Marcus Stroman. Snell is third. Wow. It's not like he's like well behind the other guys. It's more so just like I like the idea of not having to pay $160 million and just flipping prospects instead. But yeah, there's that. You think Cease is worse than Snell and Luzardo? Not by a dramatic amount, but I think he's slightly I think it's debatable. I think if a White Sox fan was like, yeah, we think Dylan Cease is better than Blake Snell, and we think he's better than Jesus Luzardo, I'd be like, okay, totally fair. Like I can totally see that. He has the most starts in baseball since 2021. Like, durable, great stuff. Totally see it. But personally, I just think that I'd rather see. I think those 2 guys are less of a project. So yeah, like I believe that their median outcomes are a little bit better. Stroman can affect the team chemistry. That's fair. Look, I have my question marks. I have my question marks about I do have my question marks about Marcus Stroman. I 100% do as a pitcher and as a person. I have 100% a lot of concerns about him, and that's how I view it. Hashtag fire Cashman. I feel like you should give him the season, right? Like you should totally give him the season. It just got Juan Soto, But yeah. Let's get David Robertson. Your thoughts? I think David Robertson would be a nice pickup, but he's old. He kind of broke down towards the end. How much money would he get? A couple of concerns. I also don't know if he's interested in coming back to the Yankees. So yeah. So I'm going to just say, I'm just going to look at his fan graphs. We're going to look at his numbers down the stretch. Going to go to Fangraphs. Going to go to his velocity, check everything there, because I know he regressed hard with the Miami Marlins. And that's why I'm a little bit concerned about bringing him in. Okay, velocity we're going to check right now. We have to check the velocity because he's also entering his age 39 season. Like there are some legitimate concerns here. Fastball velocity was good. Cutter velocity, excuse me. Curveball, slider, everything was good velocity-wise. Just going to look at the plate discipline. Swinging strike rate went down a tick. O-swing rate went down a tick. Ground ball rate was up a little bit, actually. The strikeouts were up. Walks were up. I don't know. I think I could buy a reunion with David Robertson. He was really good last year, but I don't know if I'm necessarily certain that he'll be the type of guy who is a. I'm just worried about the age regression. That's all. I'm just worried about a potential age regression, and I don't know if the New York Yankees will be interested in his market. Maybe he wants to come back. If he's open to that, that'd be great. I think he might end up going to the Mets, if I'm being honest with you guys. I think he liked the fit there, and I think he likes being in New York. I'm not looking away from you guys on purpose. I'm just trying to look at something with his win probability. Yeah, he just couldn't get the job done with Miami. He got the job done with the Mets, just not with Miami. Would I be down to bring him in on like a 1-year, $5 million contract? Sure, but I just don't know if he's going to sign that. And I don't know if the Yankees and him will link up on a deal. I think maybe they could look for a different, more impact caliber piece, like maybe a Robert Stevenson. So, yeah. I'd rather let Warren, Gomez, Hampton F anybody over Stroman. That's fair. I'm looking forward to the Subway Series. The Mets stink. For some reason, we just can't beat the Mets, even when they're playing poorly. Like, we can't beat, it's like we always split the season series with them. It's so weird. If Stroman got off to a bad start, he would be booed mercilessly. I don't know if he'd handle it well. Dude, that's legitimate. Again, legitimate, 100% a legitimate concern. That's totally fine. Like, I get it. You know, I get it. I get it. Like, I don't want to sit here and tell you that I don't get it. I don't want to sit here and tell you that there's no concerns with Stroman. I'm just trying to present both reasons why you should and why you shouldn't get him. So, yeah. There's not that many good players starting pitchers in the market. Snell Monty would cost a lot. I guess I would just sign Stroman. Pitching market is not that good this year. Just wish there were better starters. I agree. I wish the market was a little bit better, but that's just not the situation we're in, you know? Hello, what's good, Trevor? I hope you're having a good night, my man. Hashtag Yankees at the Mech. Hashtag Yankees laughing stock of baseball. Jesus, Pete, you're not happy tonight. Who pissed in your cereal? Guess guilty until proven innocent is where we are. Sad, but okay. I just, like, what if he hasn't been proven innocent. Like, he has a pending case. If he gets proven guilty, you've got that on your hands, and that's a disaster. So, you know, I just don't think it makes sense to bring him in. You know, I just don't think it makes sense to bring him in at all. Yeah, like, I think the New York Yankees should avoid any situations where they have to bring in a guy with pending legal cases. What about Burns from the Brewers? Won't be dealt before the deadline. Yankees, Kyle, Ryan Snell's won 2 Cy Young awards. Great pitcher. I just, you know, got to be concerned about the money, you know? Cashman signed Stroman. Yeah, fire him. Harsh words coming from Chase today. Harsh words. Do you believe Bellinger will play well for the next couple years? I think he's a good player, just not worth the money that, you know, he was asking for. What did I miss? Just a lot of situations of just talking about Marcus Stroman. If Snell is smart, he goes to the Yankees for a year, bets on himself, and gets a bigger deal elsewhere after performing on the biggest stage. Playing well here gets you a bigger deal elsewhere. Where David would say, I just fucking want a Cy Young, guys. What more do I have to do? Right? Like, I think that'd be a fair thing to say. Like, what the hell does he have to do more? He just wants a Cy Young. You know, like, I totally get it from this perspective of, like, dude, he just wants a deal. He wants to just sign. And I understand, you know, I get the frustration on his part. I get the frustration on every free agent's part. Yeah. Stroman's the exact same as the Donaldson shit. That's fair. Look, I don't love the person fit of Stroman in New York. I'm gonna just keep hammering that. He did break down in the second half. There are some shoulder injury concerns. He's not a perfect player. I want to make it clear. I don't think he's a perfect player, and I don't think he's my top guy. But I understand why the Yankees. Have interest. Is kind of my my point here. If we spend this money on Stroman, we will get someone like Wheeler or Burns. I think we could. Like, who knows? Like, I think they could go spend a free agency next year. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, maybe they give him a guy who opts out at the end of the year. Or maybe they give him a contract that allows him to opt out at the end of the year. But yeah, Stroman's horrible in the second half. That is true. Very much true. I know this is something that Yankee fans don't want to hear, but the fact that Snell could cost $65 to $75 million, including the luxury tax in 2024 versus $40 to $45 million for Stroman or less for Bieber is a big factor. Yeah, I think the price is why they're ending up pivoting away from a guy like, Blake Snell and more towards a guy like Marcus Stroman. I think it's the price at this point. If Stroman has one bad inning, he'll get booed out the building for sure. Sure. Like I again, don't want to sit here and paint it as anything else, you know? I think we should sign Stroman, short-term deals, and solid pitchers give this team flexibility. Also fair. I like the idea of having flexibility, and I think that the Yankees would certainly benefit from having them there. So, yeah. Luzardo and Edward, I would love that offseason, but it looks like Edward Cabrera would be moved more likely than a guy like, Jesus Luzardo, who is a really good pitcher and will cost a lot. Smart route trade for Bieber and Sandoval. I would love to add Patrick Sandoval to the New York Yankees, but I don't think that the Angels will make him available at a reasonable cost, nor should they. He's a controllable starting pitcher for the next 3 years. I know this past year he struggled because his walk rate spiked, but the year prior, 27 starts, a 2.691 ERA. The year before that, a 3.62 ERA. The way that the Angels are probably looking at it is saying, hey, this guy has a 3.53 ERA over his last 3 seasons, and he's a 27-year-old with good stuff and could get better. I just think that the command is a little bit of an issue. Maybe the Yankees can make him better. But, yeah, just a weird year for him this year. I wouldn't pay a premium for him, and I think the Angels would rightfully so ask for a premium for the guy because he was really good. Bauer's innocent until proven guilty, no, and guilty until proven innocent. That was the other way around. Again, I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify. The whole thing I'm trying to say here is he has 2 pending legal cases, and the Yankees shouldn't bring that into their clubhouse. They just shouldn't. We can sit here and say it doesn't matter, but to the Yankees and to all 30 teams in baseball, it has mattered. And if you think you have a better pulse of whether it matters or not than 30 major league organizations, then I think you're overstating it, right? I think you're overstating that a little bit because there are 30 teams in baseball and 30 of them said, no, we do not think he should come to our organization. Yankees have a meeting in Tampa and come away with we need Stroman. They all need to be fired. Look, we'll see how Stroman pitches this year if they go out and get him. If Torres got traded, who would you like to play second? I would want to go out and get Jorge Polanco. I do not think any of the internal options are good enough to play second base full time. Actually, I do want to be traded. That's pretty funny. Snell and Hader are must signs if the Yankees are truly interested in winning. My question is whether or not the Yankees are really committed to winning or over just making revenue. Joe, they definitely care about making revenue. That's definitely a huge priority for them. I don't think the New York Yankees are going to end up signing both pitchers. I don't think they're going to end up getting either of them, to be honest. Let's cook up a Luzardo trade. Let's do it. I think it will involve Spencer Jones if they were to trade for Luzardo. I think it would be Spencer Jones, Augustin Ramirez, Ben Rice, and Henry Lillane. That's my package. That's my offer. Or maybe swap out Ben Rice or Oswald Peraza if they value him more. That's my 4-player package. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Yankees are broken. The Dodgers and Braves are playing to win. The Yankees certainly need to make a top-of-the-line addition if they're going to have an opportunity to compete next year for a World Series title. But right now, it should be fair to say that they have, I think that they have, the 4th best projected record in baseball, and I think that's important, right? If you have the 4th best projected record in baseball, I think you should be looked at as a contender. That's just the way I view it. I could be wrong. Stroman, Snell, and Hader, we are set. I feel that's not going to happen. Do you think the Yankees will bring in Hicks? Jordan Hicks? Probably not. I think that he might end up going back to Toronto. I wouldn't try and sign Stroman for $5. Yankees are not able to trade. Apparently, sad but true. Padres were desperate. Look, I know that that Chase Hampton is a highly valued pitcher in any organization. He's really that good, and yeah. What do you think about Bobby Witt Jr.? Would you trade your farm for him? Absolutely, but the Royals wouldn't do that. So, yeah. I just don't think that the New York Yankees should end up, I don't think the New York Yankees should end up, I don't think the New York Yankees are going to end up getting an opportunity to trade for Bobby Witt Jr. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Royals would just laugh at the Yankees if they tried to make an offer for him. Stroman alone wins nothing decent. Convinced Soto should stay here. Need additional moves besides Soto. Well, you're never the same team on opening day as you are after the deadline. So I think you should wait till the trade deadline and say this team's going to be incomplete. Corbin Burns becomes available, and you're going to want to trade for him. And if you want to trade for him, you're going to need to hang on to some of your guys. And if you sign Marcus Stroman, I believe – so I'm going to just pull this up now and double check. If the Yankees would have signed Stroman, so I'm just going to subtract Clayton Beater's projected WAR entirely and just add Marcus Stroman's. And I know that's a little bit that's not perfect math, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to subtract his WAR from the situation. So Stroman's projected for 2.6, Beater's projected for 0.6. So you subtract, you get +2 WAR. They would go from 12.1 WAR or projected WAR, which is 14th on Fangraphs, to 14.1, which would be the 4th best team in terms of projected starting pitching WAR. Currently, they are they have a 4.15 projected ERA. Again, that's middle of the pack. I think it's actually 14th as well. It's 5. It's 13th, excuse me. And if they were to add Stroman, I believe their starting pitching ERA would drop to the 6th or 7th or even 5th best projected mark. So the Yankees would project to have a top 5 rotation in baseball. And that's the impact Stroman would make. And I think that's why they're like, hey, we can sign Stroman and kind of coast into the trade deadline, hope and see kind of, what opportunities become available when we have a better understanding of what our rotation looks like. Who has more shoulder injuries, Bieber or Stroman? Stroman has more shoulder injuries. Bieber had an elbow one. $3 million with a behavior clause versus effing Stroman. I don't think you can build in a behavior clause like that. And I don't know what that would look like. So, yeah. And also you'd have to deal with the fact that everyone in baseball would have things to say about the Yankees that, quite honestly, I just don't think, the Yankees should deal with it. Is Brendan Donovan and Nolan Gorman still on the table? That would be good replacements for Torres. I don't think either are still on the table. So yeah, I don't think either of the guys are on the table for the New York Yankees right now. Do you make Nestor or Clark the long man sixth starter if it's Stroman and then a trade? I'd say Schmidt goes into the bullpen. Schmidt goes into the bullpen. That's what I'll say. Sign Snell 4 years, 130 million. Trade for Shane Bieber. Sign Jordan Hicks 3 years, 35 million. Frankie Yankee. I would do that. I don't know if the Yankees would, but I don't think this is completely out of the picture. I think this could have a % chance of happening, but I wouldn't bank on it. Let's see what else. Disrespect on Oswald Peraza is crazy. He just hasn't hit at the major league level, you know? They kept Domingo after the first domestic. I think that's where I disagree on the issue with Bauer. I think the difference is that the what happened, like what those instances are. There is data, there's empirical and statistical data out there to suggest that, leaving somebody as unstable as Herman was at that point in his life unmonitored could have caused problems for his family. Now I'm not saying the Yankees did it out of charity. The Yankees could have totally done it because they were like, ooh, she's cheap, cost-controlled starting pitcher. We're not going to get rid of that. That's totally possible if they had, very selfish intentions in keeping him. And that's fine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Yankees did it for great reasons, but I'm going to sit here and tell you that I didn't really get behind the idea of keeping Herman, but I can certainly see it more than bringing in a guy like Bauer, who just no team in baseball has touched him. No team in the major leagues have touched him. And I think there's a reason for it. I think they're aware of these instances prior to his official release. I think they were aware that he was a problem, a locker room cancer per se. Zach Scott, the Mets GM, back when, on Twitter mentioned that when he was with the organization, they were looking to sign Trevor Bauer, that he personally was against it because of the character issues. And that came out well before the sexual assault allegations. So he had character concerns before that. And then the case comes out. And I think that just put I think that just put the nail in the coffin for Trevor Bauer's viability at the major league level. And, that it is what it is. If the Mets had an evaluation of this guy is a character problem for us. And then that happens. How can you blame any team who doesn't want that in their clubhouse? Luis Roberts, a Boris client now. Yeah, he's gone from Chicago. Saw on Twitter that Stroman's buddy Aquino was asking for a trade. I don't know if that's true. It's like that who want me meme. No one, and it's like no 100%. Nobody wants him. What did the Marlins tweak with Luzardo to give him a new pitch? I think he just finally was able to be healthy for a full season. I think that's kind of it. They signed Soto for 1 year to shut fans up. They don't want to win. All right, man. Marlins leave infield that will still offer Volpe plus for Luzardo and give Peraza a shot at shortstop. I'm not trading more than Volpe for Luzardo. It would have to be 1-for-1 for me if I consider it. We get Stroman with a serious organization. I think we should trust the Yankees' ability to evaluate pitchers, but I get it. I don't love the idea of bringing him in, so yeah. Lane, Rice, and Jones for Luzardo, who just won 10 games in MLB. That's crazy. Pitcher wins don't matter. They just don't. They just don't matter. Yeah, there's that. Let's see. Maybe the Yankees planted their new front office to educate educate the Marlins on our prospects. So Rachel Balkovich is actually like a really smart person. Like I'm kind of pissed we lost her because her background in player development is pretty good. She worked with the Astros as a hitting coach for a bit back when they were, coming up in the 2016, 2017, 2018 years, when those were the years where you see a lot of the young talent coming through the system. So a little bit pissed that she's no longer in the organization, but the Marlins had a role to offer that the Yankees didn't. And best of luck to her. But hey, maybe that helps the Yankees in the deal. Maybe that, gives them a little more familiarity on like, hey, these are the guys I like. These are guys I don't think she'd be like, I hate these guys, but like, these are the prospects that I think are really good. And if you were to make a trade with the Yankees, here's who I would target. Assuming Jones isn't traded, how do you see him fitting with the current roster? Someone's at first base. Spencer Jones is the center fielder of this team at some point down the road if he stays with the organization. He's never becoming a first baseman, in his early 20s. I feel like you're Chat GPT right now, answering any question that gets typed in. Dude, that's my job. Like, that's my goal. I want everybody to feel heard. I don't want people to be selective. I don't want people to feel like I'm favoring anybody over anybody else. You guys all deserve to have your questions answered. Every single one of you guys deserve to have your questions answered. You guys, end of the day, you guys are giving me your time, right? Like, you guys are giving me your time. You guys are the one that are taking your time to watch our stream and support our channel. The very least I can do is answer all your questions and make your voices feel heard. What do you think 2024 will look like for Volpe? Very much like Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson last year, 104 WRC plus, good defense, good base running, probably a 3 or 4 WAR player. Soto, 14 for 520. Tell me as a week to say yes or no. I wouldn't say the last part, but I just tell him, yeah, I think that's a pretty fucking good offer, Chase. I think that's what I'd offer too. The Yankees were stupid to say DJ LeMahieu's a starter at third base. Oswald Peraza is better going forward. I think we have to wait and see how they play before I say that. Give me Bieber and Stevenson, then call it. I would love this as an offseason. Sorry, Ryan, I got a headache right now, and I don't got too many questions tonight. Dude, I had a sick, horrible migraine a couple days ago. That's why I didn't stream Monday. I totally hear it, man. Don't even trip, man. Like, I appreciate you stopping by. Stroman is signing another if. There are a lot of ifs. Just a ton on the market. And Stroman certainly is another if. If Stroman's confidence and arrogance a cultural issue for Yankee fans, look, I just don't think we should sit here and pretend that he doesn't have issues. And I also don't think we should sit here and pretend that he isn't like a okay pitcher. Like, I think he's fine. He makes the Yankees better. But we can't ignore the off-field issues. Assuming Jones isn't traded, how does he fit on our roster and outfield, assuming Soto stays long-term? Anyone move to first base? I just don't think Stanton sticks here long-term. I just don't think he's going to be very good next year. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Spencer Jones will find his way in center field at some point in time. I think Dominguez profiles better for a corner outfield spot. And, that's the way I view it. I think Spencer Jones is the best defensive center fielder in the organization. 1 Cole, 2 Luzardo, 3 Bauer. 4, I don't think Bauer's just no to Bauer. If Soto doesn't accept the extension, do we trade him? No. Schmidt does not deserve to go to your bullpen. He just doesn't. A first-year shot on a bad offensive team was pretty good. I don't love putting Schmidt in the bullpen. Like, I agree to an extent. I want to see what he can do in a second year of starting, Chase. Your background is birds. You don't see people walking out of your closet. So I look, my little brother's walked out of my door. This is my closet. That one's my door. I just have it blurred because I also have like this like giant like thing to cover my mic when I record like short form videos, and I have just audio and I want it to sound really good. So yeah. What would you know about a kid? You're probably still a virgin. Sources confirm that this is not true. Moving on. If it wasn't for the racism, anti-Semitism, and the stupid tweets he said and liked, I'd probably be more willing to sign him even without the Twitter stuff. Probably even without the Twitter stuff, I'd be more willing to sign Stroman. Yeah, it's just the off-field stuff for me that's like, yeah, I'm not all in on Stroman. How much would Bauer Urias cost in a 1-year, 2-year deal? Neither are going to be signed by the New York Yankees or anybody else. What Mariners starting pitcher could the Yankees trade for that won't cost them Spencer Jones? Maybe Bryce Miller. Like, is Bryce Miller going to cost you Spencer Jones? I would say no, but maybe he does. Maybe they evaluate him as that. I don't know. Also, the deal came out for Shohei Ohtani, 4 years, $53 million. I think this is a steal. This is a steal, man. This is a steal. Like, this is an absolute steal. This is a freaking steal, man. Like, this is a steal of a contract. Like, man, that's a good price for the Cubs to get him. Man. Soto will be the first Yankee Dominican player to get in Monument Park and go into the halls. The Yankees see it happening. Jose Medina, I'm so glad you mentioned this because I've been trying to say this, dude. I need him to be the first New York Yankee Dominican. I need them to be the first Dominican to be a New York Yankee to go out and get his number retired and go into the Hall of Fame as a New York Yankee. I fucking need it, Jose. I need it. Love the channel. Appreciate you, Goat. Do you think we could get Snell and Bieber? I think that's possible. That's possible for sure. For sure it's possible. Results don't matter in the new age of stats. That's not necessarily true. I just think that process matters for projections. Yeah. What do you think the Yankees lineup will look like? I think Verdugo, Judge, Soto, Torres, Rizzo, Stanton. Can't really see my hands with the blurred. Wells, LeMahieu, Volpe. That's what they're going to do, I think. I would rather lead off Soto, but hey, the Yankees can figure this out. That's it. Yankees need Luzardo or Cease to the Yankees of 2024. Cole, Luzardo, Cease, Rodon, Schmidt, or Cortez. I just don't think the Yankees have the prospect ammunition to pull off both deals. Oswald Peraza would be the starting third baseman. No, not right now. She's great, but she knows our kids. Yeah, she actually worked with a lot of guys in that organization that, the Yankees could end up trading in the deal, Yankees need a solid starter and closer. Sad to think that Snell or Hader are completely out of the picture for the Yankees. Let's not be the Tankies, but the Yankees, again, zero money spent. Joe, I think they'll make some notable additions, but we'll have to wait and see. Matt Blake teaching his Lazard the cutter, and Lazar's a hard-throwing Andy Pettit. Fuck, man, I would love a hard-throwing Andy Pettit. I love Andy Pettit. Do you think getting Burns is more realistic than Cease to the Yankees? No, because I don't think Burns is going to get traded before the deadline. Yo, what up, chat? Listening while at work. John, you're the fucking man. Appreciate you showing up and showing out even while you're at work. We're actually going to have to wrap this up soon because I have to be done before 8. I'm sorry. I really apologize, but I'm going to get through all these questions now. Is there any news on that Cuban pitcher? I think it's Alvarez. It's Yariel Rodriguez. And no, apparently the Blue Jays were the front runners, but nothing has come out since. So, yeah. Go after Clevenger. He is cheaper. Also has a lot of off-field issues that I'm just good on. Seriously, disagree with Bauer. The problem with Chapman is he's practiced by fire gun. The reason the teams won't sign Bauer is because his problems in history of Rob Manfred. His problems are bad. Like, he's a big off-field issue. Fans get annoyed over Stroman in some tweets, but are okay with Bauer did. Doesn't make sense. I agree. I just don't see the reason to be okay with Bauer and not okay with Stroman. That's the way I view it. I think there's no reason to be okay with Bauer. So, yeah. Donaldson, now Virgo, now Stroman. Let's just trade for Altuve at this point. Hashtag guys we hate. Yeah, dude. The Yankees are just acquiring everybody I don't fucking like. Peraza should compete to start, not given anything. That's a healthy way to look at it. Get a chance to work his way into a starting role, but not guaranteed a starting role. If Anthony Volpe becomes Dance Sponson, that'll be a success. I agree. I get it. I do, truthfully speaking, I'd rather Bauer Stroman's an emotional wreck, and Bauer has something to prove and a lot more to lose. Is Bauer not an emotional wreck? Is Bauer is Bauer just like Bauer? Bauer has a million issues. Warren could be an okay pitcher for free. Will Warren will be good next year. I'm a big believer in that. So yeah. Where's all his first base stuff coming from for Jones? He's just because he's tall, that makes no sense. He's quick, athletic, has great jump, strong, and accurate arm. He keeps it up, then he's an outfielder. Yeah, he's going to be a center fielder. Everyone should write off if you see somebody say, move him to first base, just say nope, not happening. It's just not happening. Spencer Jones is going to be a center fielder for this team. Bieber seems to be good, better than signing Stroman. I would agree. Would you be happy with Bieber and Stroman? That would be a really good offseason. Yankees will give Stroman a contract offer. He's the only pick we can go to. I'm not trading the farm for Cease, Luzardo, Edward Cabrera, Garrett, or Burns, and Snell and Monty will cost too much. Probably. Hearing about the strategy meeting in Tampa and the conflicting stories about interest in Stroman, it feels like they didn't have a plan in place after missing on Yamamoto. I think they thought they were going to get Yamamoto. I agree. And then they were like, all right, shit, what do we do? I think they were guys, what the fuck are we going to do without Yamamoto? And look, I think it's good that they were able to have that meeting. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Little Chin could co-host. I need Little Chin. Little Chin's a fire-ass name. Do you think we're actually signing a reliever like Stevenson or Middleton or Jordan Hicks? I don't see it, to be honest. I think they'll add one guy to their bullpen. Not sure who. If Verdugo's back 285 with 14 home runs, when Dominguez gets back, where will they play him? It depends on how Stanton's doing, and it depends on if anybody's hurt. But I think the Yankees would prefer not to have to bring Dominguez up unless need be. I prefer Bauer Stroman because if Bauer pitches badly, goes off social media, you can just cut him. He will be pitching on a 1-year deal for the minimum. You just can't cut Stroman. I also think that we should look at it from the perspective of what it means for baseball to bring in a guy like Trevor Bauer back into the big leagues, and it's not good. Yankees aren't touching Bauer, even though the Yankees could use Bauer for his brain, but Yankees have it after having Hicks and Donaldson, they aren't touching Bauer. Yeah, they are not touching Bauer. We've re-signed Stroman, and we will re-sign Soto. I agree. Yuri Perez not being dealt. If you think we need I feel like we need another bat. I'm not all confident all in DJ or Stan to be productive. That's fair. I don't know who that other bat would be. I think they would get one at the deadline. Dominican, I know this is supposed to be a Dominican flag. It just doesn't pop up in the chat sometimes. Dominguez and Soto, dude, that dude would be special. I wrote that comment wrong about Stroman. I meant if you took away the racism and anti-Semitism and keep the Twitter stuff, I'd be willing to sign him. My bad. No, I got what you meant. If he didn't have the anti-Semitism stuff, I wouldn't care about the Twitter shit at all. Stroman and Bieber, I would love this as an offseason, but yeah. Games matter, wins matter more than projections. Yeah, but projections are a way for us to understand what teams are good. So, yeah. Yankees are making a big mistake if they sign Stroman. I don't give a fuck how good of a pitcher he is. Cashman, use your brain. Fair. No Stroman, please. Spencer Jones looked like quintessential baseball. Looks like Mickey Mantle with slightly less musculature. Screams a star player. He has all the tools of a star player, man. I don't care how guys win, just win. Fair. What's your take on players accused of steroids in the Hall of Fame? Would you vote A-Rod in? I would not vote anybody in with suspension, so I wouldn't vote A-Rod in. But at the same time, I completely understand why people would vote A-Rod in, because I understand people being like, hey, like, look, guys, fucking, whatchamacallit, a guy like, there's a guy like, David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame, and he did steroids. The Yankees don't need any negativity this year, especially so early in the year. We should make some trades like Bieber and just give Snell a contract. It makes more sense and no more drama. I would just prefer to trade for Bieber at that point. So, yeah. Peraza will love Miami. I think that makes sense. You got a date tonight? No, it's some work stuff. And not a date tonight, folks. No. The Ryan romance saga is also not public. So, definitely keeping that one under wraps. But might be cooking a little bit. Why do Yankee fans love Peraza so much? And it's okay. He's okay, but unproven. I agree. DJ has a better chance of being a solid player next year. I agree with that as well. That's my take on that, and I don't disagree with this. Hoya Polanco would be nice and trade Gleyber for pitchers. I would like to see it if it's possible, but I just don't think the Yankees are going to make all the flurry of deals it would take to get that to happen. So, yeah. What's up, brother? What's up, Chef Nick? Once this roster is set, we should trade expendable players to other teams for low-level prospects to replenish the farm. I like this idea a lot, Cole, Yuri Perez, Luzardo, Edward, Warren, Rodon, Nestor. They're not getting 3 pitchers from Miami. What about Johnny Cueto? No. Cashman doesn't want to trade Spencer Jones for an ace because he wants to use Jones tonight, extend Soto. No, I think it's because he thinks Spencer Jones is really good. What happens to Verdugo and Grisham when Dominguez comes back? We'll wait and see. I guess the point is if you don't want to sign a problem player, then don't sign any of them. Fair, but you know what? That's fair. If your opinion is just don't sign problem players, you know what, dude? I respect that. I respect the shit out of that. Stroman said no teams are checking on Bauer and said Bauer's MLB career is over. Fuck yeah, let's go, man. As out there as it sounds, the Yankees would rather move Soto to first base than Jones. Dude, LA Yankee King, this sounds crazy, but he's fucking correct. Soto will move to first base before Spencer Jones ever does. If Jones playing center field, what's up with Soto and Dominguez? Corner outfield spots and DH alongside Judge. Bauer's will not happen. He's a distraction Yankees don't want or need. I agree. Yankees sign Stroman, he will have erratic behavior, and that would cost Soto for not signing an extension. I disagree. He's dealt with worse, probably. I don't think signing Bauer is bad for baseball. It's bad for society when people who have not been proven guilty will still suffer consequences. He has 2 pending cases, and I think the issue is that you can't, and I'm not going to talk about this too much. Like, I'm not going to talk about this anymore because it's talking about legal issues on a baseball stream, and that's not what you guys are here for. But the judge specifically mentioned and acknowledged the fact that Bauer conducted acts with that woman while she was asleep. And I don't have to spell out what that is. That's non-consensual. It's a non-consensual encounter if she's asleep. And the judge mentioned that specifically occurred. And for me, that is too much for me to look over. So, yeah. If you fail the test, out. If you didn't, in. That's my opinion as well. What's your opinion on Pavlon? He seems like a jerk. Pavlon can suck my fucking dick. What do you think about the top 10 starting pitcher list? On LB Network, I've got my issues with it, but nothing's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I bet my starting pitcher list isn't perfect as well. Stroman 2-6 with an over 60 ERA at the Bronx. I can see it. Papel bum. Yeah, the guy's a bum. Search up Marcus Thames hitting a home run off of him. DJ had a 377 OBP in the second half last year. I'm encouraged that he can be a solid player for us next year. DJ is going to be a better player in 2024 than Oswald Peraza. Let's wait and see. Stroman taking advantage of the Yankees' desperation? Probably. Yeah, the Yankees are definitely desperate. I don't know if signing any starting pitching free agent just for the sake of signing one is a better than just giving Hampton and Warner a chance to address the rotation at the deadline. Juan, I think they just want depth. I think they just want guys to make sure that if somebody gets hurt, they have options. Steroid era was legal and allowed by the league. Bond, Sosa, McGuire, A-Rod, Pete Rose all should be allowed in the Hall of Fame. Hey, your opinion, your truth, you speak it, brother. Why are you hating on Bauer? Because I don't think that he should be back in baseball. In what world is a hitter with a 5% barrel rate or lower a starting caliber player? That's fair. Don't blame Stroman. The Yankees are desperate. Blame Yankee management is what it is. Imanaga's contract's 4 years, $53 million. Yeah, and apparently he turned down more money elsewhere, so I think he just wanted to be a Cub. Prediction, by June, Verdugo will be a fan favorite, and Alex Cora will be one of the most hated Red Sox. I don't think he'll ever be one of the most hated Red Sox because that's stolen base. Not stolen base, excuse me, I'm talking about Dave Roberts. I don't think he'll be a hated Red Sox because he has a ring. Any news on Rodon? I don't think we've got anything, but he's not going to drive line. It's not like he needs to improve his stuff. He just needs to stay healthy. What's your offseason for the Yankees for us to make a push in October? Bieber and a reliever. Is Carlos LaGrange the next coming of Tyler Glasnow and Henry Lane, the next Randy Johnson? I love this comment. Good fucking comment, man. Peraza will never have his 377 OBP in his life. Fair. What would you do if Hal offered you to take a GM position like an assistant? I would tell him to get off the weed. Why are we hating on Bauer if he's proven innocent? He was ruled not guilty, and the judge also mentioned specifically that not guilty does not mean innocent. And so legal verbiage is very important here. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up now. I appreciate you guys stopping by. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys sticking by for the entire stream and sticking by for the conversation. If you guys enjoy this type of content and you want more of this, you guys can check out Fireside Yankees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. EmpireSportsMedia.com is where you guys can check out all of our New York sports content. And of course, you guys can check me out at Ryan Garcia ESM. And with that being said, my final thing I'm going to keep up, Yankees GM Ryan Garcia. That would be a nightmare. I'd be a terrible GM. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.